Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Manzoor Ahmad Ghanai, lecturer History Boys Higher Secondary School, Tral. Our today's topic for 11th class students of our institution is: where would you have preferred to live in the Roman Empire? In the towns or in the countryside? Dear students, this is a very simple question. In this question, we have been asked that if we were living in the Roman Empire in ancient times, then where would we have preferred to live? In the towns and urban areas or in the countryside? Countryside means this villages and rural areas. So, had we been living in the Roman Empire, where would we have preferred to live? We would have preferred to live in the urban areas or in the rural areas. Let's answer the question. In the Roman Empire, one would have, or we would have, preferred to live in the towns and urban areas and not in the rural areas, because number one, availability of better facilities of life in towns as compared to countryside, as compared to rural areas. Dear students, in the Roman Empire, towns and urban areas were the centers of different activities, different economic activities. So a number of activities used to take place in the towns. So a number of facilities were available in towns as well. So we can say, as compared to the towns and urban areas, the rural areas, the countryside, means the rural areas, there were not such economic activities taking place. There were not such facilities available as were available in the urban areas. So naturally, one would have preferred to live in the areas where all facilities of life are available, and these were urban areas, not in rural areas where these facilities of life were not available. Number one. Number two, in the Roman Empire, the towns and urban areas were the main centers of administration, and different government offices and departments used to be located in towns and urban areas. What was the advantage of this? If a person was in the Roman Empire was living in the towns and urban areas, different government offices and departments used to be in the urban areas and towns. So if a person had any problem, had any issues, has any tensions, had any problems, it was in the urban areas, it was very much easy for the person in the urban area to go to the administrative offices and departments and address his problems, solve his problems, because these departments were located in the urban areas itself, where the people were living, where he was living. As compared to this, in the rural areas, there were no administrative offices, there were no departments, there were no big bureaucrats or officials. Therefore, in the rural areas, it was very difficult for a person to address and solve his problems, as there were no administrative officers, as there were no departments of administration, and there were no bureaucrats available in rural areas. Number three, dear students, in the Roman Empire, the towns were the centers of learning activities and different entertainment activities. Different types of sports and games, this remote or ancient types of sports and games were available in these towns. So, for learning facilities, educational facilities which were available in urban areas, one would have preferred to live in these urban areas to avail to advantage and to take advantage of the educational facilities and entertainment facilities, sports and games available in the urban areas. And these facilities, the educational facilities, the entertainment facilities, and other facilities were not available in the rural areas. Therefore, one would not have preferred to live in the rural areas, but one would have preferred to live in urban areas once again. Number four, dear students, agriculture was a very important occupation of the people in the Roman Empire, especially of the urban areas. And in the rural areas, the people did not practice this occupation too much. They used to tame different kinds of animals, and other occupations used to follow, and agriculture was the main occupation of the urban areas. So at the time of famines, the food scarcity, the scarcity, the food problem would not have been there for the people in the urban areas, because ration stores, granaries and food stores were available at a number of places in the urban areas, and these ration stores, these food stores and granaries were not available in the rural areas in such number as well available in the urban areas. So once again, during famines, it was very much easy for the people of the urban areas to to take food, to get food and relief and other things, and this was not a facility available in the rural areas. Number last or five, we can say, in the urban areas, there was less chance of the upper class people dominating the lower class people, because in the urban areas the administrative offices were available, the bureaucrats were there, departments were there. So if there was a problem of any of the people in the urban area, they would simply go to the administrative offices and solve their problems. If anyone exploited them, if their masters, if the landlords exploited them in the urban areas, they could go to the offices and departments in the urban area and solve their problems. But in the rural areas, there was the exploitation of the peasants. There was the exploitation of the people living in the rural areas, in the villages at the peak, and there was no one to listen to their problems, as there were no offices and departments available in the rural areas. So in all possibilities, one would have preferred to live in the urban areas in the Roman Empire and not in the rural areas in ancient times. Thank you.